welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
M15 PCA.
Nate said 454.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow us over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. So we got episode 3, season 2 of the Orville home, and the first two were like very relationship heavy, episodes 1 and 2. Yeah. This one is like, okay, now we're back to having like an adventure. Exactly. Still like a character showcase for Alara, but it was more of like a standard adventure story. Something I think people have been wanting for a little bit. Yeah. So we open up in the episode, and everyone's in the mess hall, and Isaac shows up, and then Malloy and Lamar are like, oh, let's get it, we're doing this. Like, oh, what are they doing? What's going on? So I guess they've been having daily arm wrestling matches between Alara and Isaac because they're both super strong. Yep. So people are like putting money down and everything. What the hell's wrong with you guys? So they're going to have the arm wrestling match.
You even see Jason Alexander in this scene too.
Yeah, he's like, okay, here we go. He's like doing the whole thing. They're arm wrestling. Isaac wins, but you hear like a crunch.
We heard running like, oh, did she break her arm?
Yeah, she totally broke her arm. Like,
So just imagine you arm wrestling Isaac. You probably rip off your side.
If you're a regular, like human of regular strength, you probably rip your damn arm off. Yeah. So she breaks her arm and goes to the doctor to get it fixed, and gets fixed in a few hours. That's so cool.
That is cool.
I can't wait to actually get to that technology where things like broken arms and legs are just easily fixed. Yeah. But the doctors, kind of does like a thorough exam. So they're like, oh, your bone density is down. Your muscle mass has dropped 20%. And of course, so everyone who doesn't know, on her home planet, the gravity is really strong. So when she's in other places, she's going to be, because she's so used to such a high gravity, she's actually really, really strong outside of her planet.
Yeah, exactly. But, I guess when you leave that planet after a while, you start to adapt to your environment.
And they do talk about how even like the early astronauts, that happened to them, which is true. Well, that's kind of cool. They throw in a little bit of things like that. Then she's like, then she wants to know, she's scared because like her strength is like part of her. It's something, and she kind of feels like, man, if I didn't have this strength, would anyone even care about me? Because she has all this self-doubt. Yeah. That's a lot. Alara has a ton of self-doubt. Even though she has proven herself multiple times, it's still there.
I thought it was kind of funny as she was talking to Dr. Finn that Mercer and Kelly were there. Well, if that's a private conversation, she wanted to. They shouldn't have been there.
I appreciate probably.
I know, but I think that's kind of interesting.
But he needs to know what's going. But he needs to go what's going on with his officers.
Yeah, that's true.
And she says she's head of security. That's a huge job. And then she's like, well, how long does this take? He's like, sometimes it's happened to other Solans. And she's like, well, sometimes it was a couple of weeks. Other people it was years, and some people it never fixed.
Yeah, well, one person never got fixed though.
Yeah, so it's like, oh man, and she's do I go back home? Do I continue? Because I stay on the Orville and I keep doing this, I'm only going to get weaker.
Yeah, and then the Dr. Finn says even worse, I think, in my mind, is that if you don't fix this, you can never go back home.
Because you'll die.
Yeah, the gravity.
Yeah, you'll go there and you'll be splatted like a bug.
Yeah.
Which would be a horrific death. I could imagine, it's like, if you went so deep into the ocean, all the pressure was similar, pressure. Not gravity pressure, but it's similar. So she decides, okay, I need to take basically like a leave because I need to fix this. Yeah. And she's having a conversation with Captain Mercer, and he's like, however long it takes, your seat's always here. And she's like, well, even if you don't have your strength, you'll still be my security officer, and we'll just get you like a crew of people. Yeah. And she's like, oh, well, they're not going to listen to me because I'm going to be this weak woman, and then I'm not going to have my strength. And it's like, you're more than your strength, but she doesn't see that because she's so insecure about it.
It's so funny because she's like in, I guess, the workout room or whatever. She's lifting something like, my goodness, like a power lifter.
Especially it was like 445 plates. Yeah, that's
I mean, she's like, I used to be able to lift to 50 kilos. Almost like it's nothing. It's like, geez, that must be like.
And then even Mercer's like, yeah, it's better than 90% of everyone on this damn ship.
Yeah. But
it's such ingrained to her who she is. It's like having an ability to do something and not be able to have that ability anymore. Yeah. So she decides, I'm going to go back home and then let my body get reintroduced to the heavy gravity, and then I'll become strong again.
Oh, and her planet's beautiful.
Oh, man, the special effects, the visual effects are so good.
Yeah, and her planet has a ring around it, which I thought was
cool. Like a Saturn ring. Yeah. And, where she lives, you see the city and the oceans and the green mountains, and it's so beautiful. Even,
Malloy, but...
he's all like, oh, it's so beautiful. It just reminds me that I'm complete trash. My whole family were all
trash. God, they probably live like really like
trailer park people.
Compared to them. Yeah, they're the future trailer park people.
It's so funny. It's like, they're just in awe of her planet because it is beautiful. Yeah. It's gorgeous. But of course, they had to have like a gravity shield because they're debating getting killed. So they get to her house, and you can see that we saw her family in the earlier episodes in season 1, and they look well off. They have a really nice house.
I think he's a high-ranking professor or something person. Like that.
And, and of course, it's like a goodbye. So Captain Mercer, he's wearing like this pressurized suit so he can go down. And right off the bat, you can see that the parents are so condescending. They disapprove of her choices. And even talking to the captain of a planetary union ship, and he might as well be a janitor.
Yeah.
That's how they treat him like nothing. Yeah. And they're openly... It's funny. They're not openly hostile. They're just, okay, sure.
You like it when you meet someone when they think they're better than you?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, and it's funny. I remember having this conversation when this series first came out. I referred to the Orville, the crew, as military people. And people are like, oh, they're really not military. They're exploratory. And they say they're military here. So, haha, I guess I win. But
I think they're exploratory too. But
they're military.
That's how they see
it.
They
literally, in this show, about her joining the military. So joining into the planetary union, you are joining the military.
Because that's just only one aspect, but they see it as everything.
Yeah.
That's how they see it.
So there would be like the Air Force, Navy.
Yeah.
It is a military. Mm-hmm. And they look down on that because they're intellectuals. They value being the smartest person instead of being like a strong person.
Yeah. And they always put Alara down the whole time in this episode, like, oh, you're just not good enough.
But in a weird, condescending, almost like, oh, you tried,
Yeah, and every time it's a compliment's backhanded, every time. And
then Alara tries to walk, and then she falls to her knees because she's not used to that extra gravity. Yeah. So she has to be like in this like a hover chair.
Wheelchair, which is so cool. It hovers
like
around.
Professor X, she's floating around.
I love that's what I was thinking too, but I didn't say that. Cool.
And we get to meet. She has an older sister.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's very tropish, but she's blonde hair. She's taller. She's that. So
but of all the three, I think she's the nicest one.
She's nice to her sister.
Yeah, she's nice.
But even then, she's like, I feel like I don't understand you sometimes because it's funny. You wouldn't think she'd be super smart, but their whole planet everyone's really smart. Oh. And she's like, oh, tell us about she's getting married and everything, and then. Everything she does is great and wonderful. Everything Alara did is stupid and dumb. And you join the military because you're a dummy. And maybe you could find someone special here. They're always like pushing her to do things.
Yeah, I know. We can go back to school. We can even help you out. We can get some tips for you.
I talk to all the professors. They understand that you're going to need some extra help and everything's like basically like stop talking down to me. I'm not freaking.
Don't do that for me. You don't need to do that.
Oh, we know your limitations. Yeah. Just trying to be so nice about being a jerk.
Yeah. And it was so funny. Another moment happened when they were first telling them relationship. He got like a beer bottle and threw it out there. Got smashed in like
seconds. You just wanted to see it. It's like putting a penny on the tracks. Like you just want to see it.
It's so stupid. I always want to do this. We ever went to this planet. He's such an idiot.
That was so cool. You're such a moron.
I love Malloy. He's hilarious.
But so her family life is just she's always being compared to her older sister who's more successful and everything. And it's very classic.
Yeah.
And she ends up kind of getting into fights with her father.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't listen, Dad. I wanted to do this. I was always looking for someone to tell me you can do it. Even if you didn't freaking believe it. Just tell me so I can have something. He's like, what? I didn't find it here, but where I found it? I found it in the Union when I joined. Captain Mercer and Kelly and everyone on the ship, they believed in me. I just wanted you to believe in me. And you can see that they have that kind of fracture. Yeah. The dad's trying, but he's too much of too stuck in his ways.
Yeah. And then the way he'd solve it all, we'll go to a beach house on an island.
Which is, I don't necessarily disagree with that. It's like, we can kind of be a family, like a vacation and everything. And then, like, he's trying, you can see that he's trying, but he's not trying hard enough.
No.
And he's not willing to break his own viewpoint to help his daughter. He only wants to help her on his terms. Yeah. And then that's no way to be being a bad dad.
No. And man, even the shuttlecraft landing on the planet, awesome. Great. And then when they use the little shuttle to go to the beach, it was awesome.
Oh, it just looks great.
Incredible.
Like, you can see the island. Man, this is a really cool place. I'd like to go there if it didn't kill me, but I would really like to go there.
I don't think we would last till and you see my splat to the ground.
But they get to this vacation home. I guess they have like a housekeeper guy who keeps the house in check. Like, everything's fine. It's the off season. No one else is here on the island. It's going to just be you guys. And then we get to see this really cool horse. It's like a chocobo mixed with a regular horse, mixed with because it has a beak and it has a really cool looking thing.
Oh, it was awesome.
Like, I want one of those things. I forgot what she called them.
I forgot the name too, but I'm sure we'll put it in the thing, what the name was.
But that's really good. And the special effects on that looked really good.
Oh my goodness. And the thing is, you even saw her older sister touch it, so that's an effect where she was actually trying to touch it.
Then that's something that could have looked really cheesy. Yeah. Really crappy, and it looked pretty damn cool.
I mean, at this point, it's like McFarlane's just showing off. Look at this, guys. Look what I could do, But it's cool. I like it,
looks
though.
Great.
Yeah.
Even like little scenes like we were talking about when before they landed on the island, like the camera starts outside the ship and then it goes in through the window and then it's in. It looks. Yeah. It's movie quality.
Another cool I thought was also too when they were even first landing on the planet on the Union shuttle, they did a side view, which was cool. The side camera, like that.
Like
was
the
cool.
camera is like that GoPro angle.
I love that.
It has that really cool look. And so she's trying to get along with her family. She just feels like an outsider the whole time. Yeah. So she's sitting out and she's kind of like sitting on the beach, and then she like thinks about like riding the one of those animals.
Yeah, she has like a dream, and literally, this is what I say. This looks like a fantasy piece. This could be like
because she's like her hair's all long. Yeah, it's like this could be like a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
like,
she's an elf, and you see her on that thing riding in the beach. Like that looked cool. I like.
She pulls out a sword. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
But she notices that there's a light in the distance, like another house. She's like, oh, I thought we were the only people here. And since she's a security officer,
she automatically
goes in. I want to figure out what's going on here. Yeah. Then she tells her parents about it. Like, oh, maybe it's just someone else that was here. They take like the logical route. She wants to I actually want to solve this problem. And so we're thinking like, where's this episode going? Yeah. Like, it's all about Alara. There is no A plot, B plot. It's just Alara dealing with her muscle apathy.
And I'm glad they did show the Orville, and then they show the new kind of temporary replacement.
He has all the qualifications. He just kind of comes in, hey man, this ship is bitching, man. Like, he's just so.
It looks like he looks like an elephant, but he's not an elephant though. He has a second esophagus that's connected to his.
Yeah, it's like at first body. I thought it was like a nose, but no, it actually connects to his belly. It's like an umbilical cord in a way.
Yeah, weird.
So he's just like, it's pretty cool shit, man. Like he's just so like, this guy's a security officer.
Especially the head of security. And now he got all those like glowing recommendations. I hope they weren't just trying to butter him up to get rid of him. I hope that's not the case.
And he's actually really good at his job. He just has quirks.
Quirks, yeah.
But again, the costume design's amazing. It looks great. I remember exactly one of the episode, but Yan Pitt talks. So Norm Macdonald.
In the very beginning, he says 2 words.
I love Norm Macdonald. He's probably right now living comedians. He's probably the funniest comedian out there.
I want to say, yeah, exactly. If you like your humor to be non-PC and all that old school, go look.
Norm Macdonald's the best thing.
He's amazing.
He's so funny. But it's cool. Yeah, he's so cool. Yeah. Because they make a thing about him saying that he wanted some like time off. And like, what was something about having children?
Then he goes, oh, he's not going to split himself off. He's
like, we're legally not allowed to ask that. Like, it's like a personal question. But it's funny though. But they're on good enough terms with K-Man because their species are just like a blob, and then splitting in two. Oh, that's my son.
Remember the first season when he's talking to Dr. Finn? He goes, yeah, that was my mom. Then it became my brother.
Yeah, because they're all
slippery. Okay.
That was fun though. It was just I remember the old characters. Yeah. But we get back to Alara and her, she still has that detective mode. Like, you're saying she wants to figure this stuff out. They get some neighbors knocking on the door. Oh, we're from the house up on the hill, and it looks like someone maybe when we were gone like broke into our house. And of course, Alara's like, they look like 4th century. Like she's asking like cop questions.
Yeah.
And then it's really funny because the parents are kind of just trying to be like regular neighbors, and they're like, oh, she used to serve on a Union vessel, and she's like, I know, I still do.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to say, like, oh, that part of her life is over, but she's like, no, I'm just trying to get better. So they're always butting heads. Even when it's nothing to do with that, they're still butting heads.
And mad props to the fact if you guys realize that was actually the doctor from Enterprise.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
And then her dad was the...
Phlox, Dr. Phlox, and his dad's, of course, the EMH reporter. So you have 2 Star Trek doctors in this episode.
Just state the nature of your emergency.
But Phlox would have no idea what a hologram is. That was so before his time, but that's cool.
I love all the alumni and everything that's sci-fi.
McFarlane's is so good with that. He's like the Adam Sandler of this, with his friends and everything.
And they're like, oh, that's weird that someone would break this. You call the police. Like, oh, yeah, I did. They showed up and, they did their job and everything. But I felt weird. Do you know if there's anyone else here? We're thinking, what's going on here? Like, what part of the story? Like, where's the story going to lead? It goes crazy, but where's the story going to lead? Oh, okay, maybe there's something wrong with these people. Maybe it was the housekeeper. Maybe he's stalking him, but we don't know this character, so we don't know what kind of motivation. Why would he do any of this?
So I don't know if it was there a little bit later. Like, did they say, okay, they're going to investigate the house? Well, did that happen during that whole thing?
No, it was like the next day.
I think it was the next day. That's what I thought. Yeah,
because they're like, oh, we're gonna go check it out, and because Alara wants to check it out because she's a security person, and that's in her mind. Then the sister's like, oh, I'll go with you. So the mom feels better. Okay, good. Your sister's going because she's better than you. She doesn't say that, but you can tell that's
basically
And I thought it was a nice moment for Alara and her sister when she's like, you know what? I envied you because every time I talk to you, you're always talking about all these adventures you went on and all these crazy things that you saw, and it's like...
And their plan seems to be pretty... But it's not beautiful, very bland, very,
And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I don't... even though you may not think it, but I am proud of you. I'm like, oh, that's nice. At least the sister
really
understands.
Yeah.
They get down and they see the house, and it's kind of scary. I'm like, what's gonna happen here?
Yeah, sometimes Orville will take you to like, this is a sci-fi. Why is this getting this weird, creepy stuff going on?
And they find that their housekeeper, like, he never left.
Yeah.
Or like stuff's all like,
what's going on?
Looks like he started to pack and then didn't go. It's like maybe he's still on the island. I'm thinking, was he hiding in the forest?
Yeah, what's going on? This is so weird.
What could he possibly want?
Yeah.
But then, we get to there, and then there's people whose houses got broken into. They invited him over for dinner. Yeah. And this is where the episode...
Oh, my goodness.
It starts out with, of course, Alara is sitting there, and they're talking about their son, the couple, and they're like, oh, he teaches at the university, and we're so proud of him. And it's like, of course, Alara's like, here we go, another smart person, and I have nothing to say. Like, she has nothing to the conversation.
No.
And then the dad's fussing over the sauce. Oh, it has to be just right before you serve it. And they're just being all hoity-toity and everything. It's like Laura's just sitting there like, oh my goodness, I hate this. Then it becomes Natural Born Killer.
Yeah. American Psycho time, everyone.
Then he's like, oh, the sauce is ready. Give me your plate. It's going to be great. The guy's like, oh, that ladle, it's probably dirty. It's like, what do you mean it's clean? It's fine. Don't worry about it. This is where I thought,
maybe he's like a germphobe or something.
Or he's going to be even more uptight than them.
Yeah.
Then they're going to realize, maybe my daughter sees me this way. I thought it was going to be like the nice...
No. Guess again.
He's like, well, I guess I can get another spoon or whatever. He's like, no, just use your hand. And they all laugh like, it's boiling, it's going to burn me. And he's like, no, I really want you to use your hand. And I'm like, what the flying F?
Yeah.
Rips out a gun. He's like, you're going to use your hand. I'm like, what's going on?
Well, like, is this couple crazy? What's going on here?
And then Alara's like in her, like, basically a wheelchair. And she's like, oh no, I can't help my family.
No.
And the wife pulls out a gun. And she's like, do what my husband says. Use your hand. I'm like, oh my goodness.
And he does.
He basically burns the hell out of himself, and then he puts the sauce like on his food, like using his fingers. It's like, oh, yep, it's definitely spicy enough. I'm like, these people are full-blown psychopaths. Like, they invited, a Rob Zombie villain.
Yeah, like, literally, this went from, like, over episode to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. Like, it's like that dinner scene. What's going on here?
One thing about Seth, he can turn an episode on a dime like no one's business.
Yeah, where it's like, it's intense, thriller, scary, elements in it.
So we're like, and then of course it cuts to commercial, and we have that time of thinking, like, what the F do these people want?
Yeah.
Like, I thought maybe they were just random psychopaths. And they just like when a stranger knocks, or what was that one movie where the three people had the masks and they terrorize that family?
Oh, that's not The Purge.
Yeah, but it's similar to that.
Yeah.
And there's no reason. They just wanted to.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was the reason, but they actually give some backstory. And then their son was a professor and everything. But it seems like he was anti-vaccination. Is that what he was?
Yeah.
And then the father, Alara's father, argued against him, saying, you know what, your works aren't founded. And he's like, oh, you ruined my son. He lost everything, and he killed himself.
Yeah, but that's not the father's fault. You can't blame him for that. It's your son's fault.
And he's like, your son was extremely brilliant, but he was too quick with his research. He needed peer reviews. He needed to do more things, but he would just go straight to the press, straight to the papers. And he's like, no, you're causing panic when he didn't need to, because those vaccines saved people's lives. Yeah. And he was anti-vaccine. I'm pretty sure that's what the story was.
I think basically some kind of vaccine.
Was that an anti-vaccine jab? It was little, because but it shows him that. And he was Laura's father was the one who pioneered basically he headed the project of saying he's wrong, discredit him, his work, and that's what led to him killing himself. And it's like,
and then the whole time the dad had to kind of prove maybe being too extreme on it, being just on one thing isn't a good thing, because it led him to kill himself, because that's what he thought. I don't have my intelligence. No one thinks I'm smart. I have to kill myself.
Because on this planet that's all you have.
Yeah.
And since he was discredited, nothing, gone. You might as well be dead. So basically, he's like, I want you to make a recording. Say you are and say that you're a fraud.
And he's first like, I'm not going to do that.
And he's like, I'm not going to destroy my whole entire career just because your son killed himself. It's like, well, I'm going to tell your wife then. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. Then Alara's like, no, don't do it, Dad, because if you do, he's going to just kill us all right afterwards. And then he's like, oh, okay. Now we're at a stalemate. He's like, you know what? You have a garden. I'm like, this guy's crazy. Did they get a pair of pruning shears? I want to start chopping your daughter's fingers off.
Yeah, the older daughter. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh, they're going to show it?
Yeah. No, little thing here, a little bit earlier, they figured out some way to make Alara where she can get back on the ship.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we came up with a process that can help her. So
and then a little funny scene. I know it's a little intense we're talking right now because this episode gets this. That new security guy's eating on the bridge.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Because my metabolism was twice as fast. Well, can you go on a break or something? And
he like smacks his lips and everything. It's like, oh, this guy.
I mean, they can't have this guy stay for long. He's got to get a new security officer, but
we get back there and then she's gonna start chopping her fingers off, and she's like, and then Dad's like, okay, I'll do it. And then you see one of the again, I call them runabouts, but one of the transport ships.
Transport ships.
And he's like, who did you call? What is this? It's a planetary union ship. What did you do? And the Dad's like, I don't know, I didn't do anything. And it was just Captain Mercer coming down to the planet to talk to
tell him
Alara.
about that whole thing they figured out.
He has no idea what's going on. So he's like, the captain. He's like, go talk to him, get rid of him. And then he gets out, he walks out there. Oh, hey, Captain Mercer. And of course, Captain Mercer is like, I know you don't think much of me, but I need to speak to your daughter. And he's like, oh, no, she's sleeping right now and everything. And Captain Mercer thinks, oh, he's trying to blow me off. But he's more like, oh, no.
Just get out of here. Yeah, right? You're going to get us all killed.
It's I like that. It's kind of funny. It reminds me of that scene in The Simpsons when the mob took over the school. Yeah. And then like he's talking to the guy's like, oh, Principal Skinner, you got this black guy. It's like, how did that happen? And you can hear the guy whisper in his ear, that was a boating accident. It was a boating accident. Like it's like the gun to the back of his head. But it's pretty much the situation.
Yeah, that's funny.
And the other guy gets fed up and just shoots the captain. But he's wearing that suit. Yeah. So he's down and out. Then during that time, Alara jumps out of her chair.
Yeah, because normally he has like an hour work before it depressurizes the point where we'll crush him. He only had 3 minutes.
Because they overloaded the system.
Yeah.
Alara starts fighting the wife and gets to get away from him. Like, Mom and sister jump
help her.
in.
She goes, because her legs could go out any minute. You got to help her out.
They don't do anything to help her.
No.
But she ends up getting the gun away from her and ends up toasting her. Toasts her. And then the dad's like, oh my God, what's going on? He's like, Dad, go upstairs, lock yourself in the room. Get him out of here. I can handle this. So they kind of have a little bit of a gun battle, but Alara is barely on her. Like, she's probably running on pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
And she's like, I gotta save my family. The captain's out there. I don't know if he's dead, if he got shot and he's dead, or if he's gonna get crushed. So they end up having a little fight. She escapes upstairs and locks the door and tells the dad, locks the what's his face outside. He ends up just kind of shooting the lock and get inside. And she tells the dad, I'm gonna take care of this guy, and you need to go over the balcony and help the captain. See if he's all right, and if you can save him, you need to save him. Or get him back to the ship.
Get him on the ship, yeah.
And the dad's like, I don't know whatever. He's like, Dad, I believe you can do this. I know you can do this. It's like, that's all she ever wanted.
Yeah.
And the dad, because he's like, well, I don't know. But he gets the courage because his hand's still burned. And he has the courage from just that encouragement of his daughter gave him the strength to do this.
And the whole time we must know, talk like how Laura's very calm. She's very, because that's how she's
crazy ass situation.
Yeah, you have to be calm.
But she's, again, all that down talk on the military. But when hits the fan, who do you want on your team?
Exactly.
Someone who's been in the damn military, knows combat and knows how to survive.
Exactly.
So the dad is like, okay, he has to go over the balcony. It's a little bit of a drop.
Oh, it's about a 2-story drop.
And his hands
gosh, yeah.
He kind of falls down on the thing, and then he sees there's the gardener. They killed him and they just left him in the bushes. He like lands right next to him. Dead body.
Yeah.
And again, good move on Alara. She leaves the door open, so when that guy comes in the room, he thinks, they escaped out the door. She just ambushed him. She was like hiding in a back room.
Well, that was a good counter, yep.
Took him out. So.
And they had no idea. They don't know tactics like she does, so yeah, it took him out.
Took him out. Then he checks the captain. And
he's got like a minute.
He got like, well, yes, it was probably like down to like 36 at the time. So he has to like drag him towards that bubble.
And it's so sad because Malloy comes out to see what's going on, but he can't help because he's in the thing.
If he would have stepped outside the bubble,
he would have crushed him. Yeah, he'd have crushed him.
And he's like dragging him towards the thing, but I guess the suit, it's not like all or nothing. It starts to shut down a little bit, so it starts shutting down in his legs. He sees his feet just go flat.
His feet and ankles. I was like, oh.
I can imagine how much that would hurt. Oh my God. His bones probably...
Both of them did. Both left and right. Oh.
They were probably just dust.
I guarantee you they did like they did with Malloy when they gave him a new leg.
They probably just amputated him and grew new legs.
Yeah.
But my God, that must have been so painful.
Yeah, it would
But
be.
Of course, they saved the captain and everything. And then everything's... It's funny. It would have been nice if there had been some aftermath. I called the cops. These people broke into my house, tried to kill my dad. I had to shoot him.
Well, they do mention the police in the series, so they do have a law enforcement.
But you don't ever see them, though.
No.
Like, it'd be cool to see, like, a futuristic police car with
I
lights
would
and
like to
everything.
see that. That'd be cool.
But, so that whole thing we were talking about, they came up with basically like a gravity therapy that would help her so she can stay on the ship.
She has to do it at least 1 hour or 2 hours a week, something like that.
Yeah, they basically came up with the regiment that she could stay on the ship and not lose her strength. And, right before that, then her and her father actually have, the dad admits that he was wrong. You know, he was always hard on her because he wanted her to do better, but he didn't show any love.
Yeah.
You can be hard on your kids, but you have to show that you care about them too. And the dad is such an intellectual and such a high thinker, quote unquote, that he just lost empathy.
But believe me, but during that whole situation, he got it real fast because he got this is real. He could die.
And he even admits to her that I was a bad father.
Yeah.
To you, it's like, oh, that's, you know.
And then she finally got that validation that she's been wanting
from your parents, because that's more important than Captain Mercer's validation, the whole Planetary Union's validation. Yeah. Her father's validation means more than anything.
Exactly.
And so, like, oh, cool. They figure out a way for her to stay on the ship, and then she basically tells the captain, I came out here to look for something, and while I found a family with you guys, I actually have a family back at home that I never had before. Yep. And I need to be with my family. And it's like, oh, you know, she's going to decide to go back.
Yeah, and it's kind of touching because, like, even, like, a little bit, like, before that, when they're telling her about the therapy, she had a look on her face like, I don't know if I want to do. Like, you could tell she wasn't super excited about it.
Because she's actually, for the first time in her life, wants to be with her family.
Yeah. Because he finally gave her the validation, realized that you can be something.
Yeah.
This is what you want to be. You don't have to be the way I want you to be.
And I love you for you, not for the things that you're capable of or your intellect. I love you.
Yep.
And that's, again, a good conservative family message and a good message about military, pro-military. Because there is a lot of intellectuals, they're like, oh, little stupid people join the military.
Yeah, I mean,
only dummies.
That is the thing of, like, intellectuals in this country. So, yeah, that's how it is. That's how it's like to them.
So, you know, then we get, like, the goodbyes and everything. She gives Captain Mercer, like, a gift. I'm like,
but we don't know what it is.
What it is. And then, you know, we have the playing, like, she goes to the Shadow Bay and it's going to be, like, her go. And then, of course, they all step out.
Yeah, they look all empty. Like, yeah, they're going to really just no one show up. Yeah, sure, those
she gives, again, they're playing sad music. She hugs everyone. It's like, oh, you know, it's only been a season.
Yeah.
Season and 3 episodes, I care about her.
I like her, but it's not killing me. But it is sad, but it's like, the thing is, I like the hug that Mercer gave her because it looked like a father would give a daughter. Like his daughter, you know.
And again, he makes the same promise to her. If you ever come back,
so I'm hoping the door's open that she comes back a little later.
That'd be nice because, you know, it's cool to see that original crew.
And even Boris hugger, you know, Boris is not a hugger at all, especially with women.
So, you know, we get that and she goes back home. And we're like, oh, what's that present? We're like thinking a million different things.
We thought maybe she did research it as Miss Piggy. That's what
we did. Go with this Kermit?
Yeah.
That'd have been cute. But even we forgot about this.
Yeah.
It's the long reveal. It's about it felt like 5 minutes, but it was probably like 10 seconds. Yeah. And the camera pans down, it's a freaking jar of pickles.
He looks at it like, oh, jar of pickles.
Because he would always open this jar of pickles. She's strong, she'd tear the door open or whatever. That. We even forgot about that. Yeah. It's been so long. But
that was the season 1 catchphrase actually.
What a fun episode.
My favorite one this season. This felt like a season 1 episode, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
And it touched on a lot of things. Pro-military.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the smartest person in the room to be good, to be considered useful, considered to be part of a family. The father admitted that he wasn't good to his daughter. A lot of good messages here.
Yeah, and then you had your good sci-fi with the planet gravity. So you still had your sci-fi elements, and there it was perfect.
And again, the switch turning from we're having a dinner party to we're having a hostage party.
I really thought he was just a German-phobe and like, oh my god. Oh my goodness! Woo! This got real fast. Oh jeez!
This is like if there was a record scratch. That's exactly when that should happen. Like damn! But wow! And it just again, the special effects are so freaking good. I'm trying to think. Like the return of Alara. Do you want her to come back? I do. Maybe down the line. Probably mid-season finale.
Yeah, I don't want to really speculate why she's doing this. We don't know if she's written on.
Well, like the character herself. The character person. We know, but the actress.
We don't know. But the thing is, if she comes back, I'd be willing to accept it.
That'd be cool.
So,
do you think...
Almost Tasha Yarish, but she didn't die. She didn't die. Like, you see the parallels in Next Generation there.
There's a
security officer, head of security.
And, so the new security guy, he's funny.
Oh, he's funny, but he is so... Oh, and then goes, why don't you somewhere else? Well, I have to eat and work at the same time. No, just go.
Yeah, I like to eat through my lunch. And they're trying to tell him in not so many words... Please go eat your lunch somewhere else. And he's like, oh, we can just pound the food, man. He's like, just eat.
Yeah, because they have double the metabolism. So, and literally, even Boris like, so what is that? Because you didn't know that was esophagus. Like, what is that?
Is that a nose? What is that thing going on?
That's funny.
And then I love the fact that they even saw, there was like an alien that his eyes were up and down. Remember during the arm wrestling match?
That was cool, but no, it felt like a Total Recall, but still cool.
Yeah, it's cool. But again, there's so many different alien races. I'm sure there's someone out there who's cataloged every unique race, even though if they don't have a name.
It has to be over 40 already.
So
50,
cool.
Yeah.
I just love that. I love the of course the horns, and whenever they have like reptilian people, I always like that.
Reptilians are always cool.
Because always have a cool.
Only enough if you think about like biology, like if they're like our planet, their reptilians would probably be the dominant.
Again, it kind of reminds you of the Argonians and freaking Morrowind. But I think finally. I'm not saying not to downplay the first two episodes, but this one felt like, okay, this was a cool sci-fi episode that even without knowledge of previous episodes, I know her leaving has a bigger impact if you've known the character, but just from a sci-fi angle, it was...
but you can still watch it for new timer. That's what we're trying to...
So I think this is... the next episode looks like going to be another action-packed episode. Oh, yeah. So I think they didn't stumble out of the gate. They kind of lightly jaunted out of the gate. Now they're starting to get their stride a little bit.
Yeah.
When season 1, there was just right out there.
Oh, every episode
was good. This one looks like it's a little bit slower, but we're getting there now.
Oh yeah, and also then it's just so interesting. Like if you look at like the fact that this is the episode finally now where you're seeing established character and it's leaving. Like it's only been a year, but yet you care, and it's just like wow, it's only been a year, but you still care.
Yeah, it actually felt.
I guarantee you, any of the Bridge Moon, the characters you know about Discovery left, we could care less. We could absolutely care less.
Again, it's been a whole season of Discovery, and there's the black chick with the braids, that other guy that works the comm. I don't know their names.
Here's the thing, like even said before, and if you tell us you lied, you looked it up, because no one knows their names. I guarantee it.
The girl with the little metal thing on her eye, if she left the ship, would anyone care?
No.
There was no connections here. They made deep connections with that bridge crew.
Because you have to have that in a sci-fi show. You have to.
I know what I would have thought in that ending scene. Wouldn't it have been better if she would have got like a military type, like everyone's lined in the line and they give her a salute and she leaves.
But that's more
personal.
They didn't want to do. They were going to do the Star Trek thing when they leave the ship and they all line up.
I love that. I love that.
It's just and then they play the little wee, like that little horn thing. That's so cool.
Like Officer on deck, over there together and they all turn.
But that's Star Trek though. That's
me.
Cool.
That's me though. I like that kind of stuff. But overall, if you had to give it a number.
Oh, it's a 9. Total 9.
I say about an 8 because like the sci-fi was low, but since it was on an alien planet, that added to it. And it was kind of a goodbye episode. It's good. It's a solid, good episode. It's definitely not. It's when I found tons of complaints with the first two episodes where I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. This is kind of strange. I didn't really find any of that.
No, that wasn't it. Yeah, and only McFarlane could turn a sci-fi little meal into turns into some kind of weird I tell you, American Psycho, weird psychotic thing going on.
Oh man, putting your hand in that burning soup, damn! His hand was all jacked.
The lesson is you have replicators in your house if you can have them. Don't
can we let it cool down a bit? Like, he tried to argue his way out of it, but he wanted to hurt him. He wanted to. Well, this is what you're gonna get for what you did to my son. And
but again, your son did that to your son.
No one. Again, I'm a true believer. No one can make you do anything.
No.
Sure, people can. You feel like you lost everything, but there's a better answer. Suicide's never answer.
Again, and there's also a subtext of obsession again. Kind of like the last episode. You shouldn't be so just one thing and that's it.
All his work and research, and since he got discredited, he had nothing.
Because that planet is that you're nothing after that. You're literally nothing. You might as well just, like you said, be nothing. You're just disappeared.
And, the father grew and everything, and hopefully her family grows, and they learn to appreciate each other.
I know I doubt we'll get another episode with them, but I wouldn't mind seeing an episode with her on the planet. That would be cool.
She becomes a police officer or something.
I want to be a police officer. I would see that series.
Alara, the cop.
This is the second episode I can see that series. Like, I want to see Majority Role, what goes with that. I want to see a series about that.
As a Xylon PD Blue shows her, she has like a cop car. But let us know what you guys think. I'm thinking, just so I know our audience, I think there's going to be the detractors, but I think most people are going to like this episode.
Yeah, you can't. I could see where people could fault little things here in the first thing. You can't really fault.
Yeah, this one is a pretty solid episode. Except for saying it formulaic. That might be the only thing, but come on, it's great. We love it. It's fun.
It's good, and it really did what it did well.
Everything, that's a good way to put it. Everything it did well.
Yeah.
But anything else that you could think of?
I'm trying to think. Any little moments? Let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, and I like when they discovered it was Lamar that did it because he's so smart, and he figured out how to do the gravity thing.
Him and the doctor worked together.
And it wasn't Isaac. I was worried. I was strange that Isaac wasn't part of that, but that's cool.
Yeah, and I also they like the fact that Isaac and Alara.
No, Isaac's the strongest one now on those ships.
It kind of always reminded me in Trek when a Klingon would be on the Enterprise. who's this Dana? I want to see how he feels. His strength is legendary.
The funniest one about it is that one was doing that one and he tried to headbutt him. He hurt his head, yeah, because his head's made of that freaking titanium steel, like that super deal.
And they don't arm wrestle you like a forearm thing.
And he goes, he's like that, yeah, because he's so much stronger than you. He can't.
And it's like, you're like, Dana be doing something, he does it, beats him, and goes back to work. But it's like, oh yeah, it's like the fact that he's like this unbeatable guy.
He tries to headbutt him like Cleanon's doing. He hits his head, yeah, because it's freaking mid.
Yeah, you have the ridged skull and everything, but this guy's freaking
metal,
not human. He's not Bruce.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of had that vibe. Yeah. I thought that was cool. But that's gonna wrap it up. Again, leave the comments and we'll do a comment review episode next Wednesday.
Yes, remember on Wednesday. So if you want to get those comments in, get them by next Wednesday.
And then we'll read them on there as long as they're not too crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've been your host, Crimson Sin.
I'm with DPCA.
Thanks for watching.
See you later. Bye.
Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching and be sure to like, sub, and share. Also, for the most up-to-date information about the podcast, follow us on Twitter at C15 Podcast.